What happens when the leader of the free world, who also happens to be, or is supposed to be, the leader of the country you live in, and he's a puppet or a figurehead instead of a leader? What happens when that same leader appears to have been involved with bribery deals with foreign adversaries who only wish your country harm? And what happens when that same president gives not one shit about the actual Americans dying in separate events enough to show up and give any kind of vote of confidence to the people affected? I could ask questions and bring up stuff like what I just mentioned ad nauseum that would make this video really long. But what I am going to do is list the things that this president has completely ignored. Hey folks, I'm back again for a new edition of the best kept secret in the conservative movement, things that need to be said. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis. Really quick, head on over to Rumble, subscribe to our channel, and hit that thumbs up. And no matter where you watch our videos, please share, like, and don't be afraid to leave a comment. I actually read what you guys have to say, and I occasionally respond, so don't be shy. Now, on with the show. So the list comprises of, well, everything. Thanks for watching, everybody. In all seriousness, and the crazy part about this list is that I don't really have to do much research because Biden is a walking, mumbling dumpster fire.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true and international effort to pressure, true and international effort to pressure, true and international effort to pressure.
Let me just play this clip so you can understand what the motivation for this week's episode is.
Talk about the Hawaii response, Mr. President?
No comment, with a smile on his face. If that isn't the best summary of this regime boiled down to one clip, I don't know what is. First and foremost, and I am aware that people don't like talking about it anymore, but so many problems stem from this one ignored issue. The border crisis, also known in the un-PC world as illegal immigration. First, let me show you this clip, and you tell me in the comments what you don't see. It's quick, so if you need to pause to take a closer look, go right ahead.
Since late July, thousands of migrants have been bused from Texas to New York and other U.S. states. With shelters full, migrants are sleeping outside of the Roosevelt Hotel, a processing center for the city's shelters.
You know what you don't see? Women and children. And where are all the people from Mexico and Central America? Whether you like it or not, the United States is being invaded from countries all over the world. I heard the other day in a podcast that they estimate by the time Biden's first term ends that there could be about 15 million people who have illegally entered the U.S. with the assistance of our own government. They treat these criminals, and don't get it twisted, if you come into any country illegally, you are a criminal.
I think rule of law matters. You know what? If you cross illegally into Mexico, what does Mexico do?
Of course, they would deport you.
So why should the United States not enforce our laws?
But our government treats them better than they treat us. You know how I know? Because this regime has done everything it can to vilify and label half the country as extremists. Well, I reject that because the people in government are the extremists, and it needs to be said more often.
You've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. Go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
But let me get back to the overarching point, the border. Not only do we need to worry about the current invasion of our country, but the Chinese are slowly poisoning people all across this great land of ours. They supply the Mexican and Central American drug cartels with the materials needed to make fentanyl, with some even lacing other drugs with small doses of the aforementioned drug of choice for the late George Floyd. Oh, am I not supposed to say that?
Oh, no, he didn't.
If you do the math, the National Institute on Drug Abuse not only shows the rise in synthetic opioids, which the NIDA says is primarily fentanyl, but on average, nearly 200 Americans died from a fentanyl overdose every single day in 2021. Those numbers are most likely significantly larger now with the influx of strangers invading our country. And as if that weren't enough, I haven't even gotten to the most egregious avoidance of a topic so far by this regime, which also has directly to do with the border, human trafficking, specifically of the child variety. While the media has played defense for pedophilia and the abuse of children, particularly when it comes to their attacks on the based on a true story movie Sound of Freedom, they have also aided this regime in ignoring this very real problem. Nah. They were all too ready to jump on former President Donald Trump for separating kids from their parents, most of which were not actually their parents, and putting them in cages that Barack Obama built.
Thanks, Obama.
But when it comes to children being let through the border only to get abducted and put into the child sex trade or the child slave labor trade or in the child drug manufacturing trade, you hear friggin' crickets from these journalists. And the current regime is happy to ignore them, while there are a few exceptions of politicians and media bringing these things to light.
The administration can no longer flout the rule of law using asylum and parole to end run the rule of law to release people into the United States in ways that causes 85,000 children to get lost. Children in these articles getting sold into the human trafficking business, the sex trafficking business. All of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle like to tout how compassionate they are.
Folks, that's just a snippet of the border ignorance carried out by this regime, and specifically the border czar, Kamala Harris, that have brought misery to so many Americans and even migrants legitimately looking for a better life. This is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Like I said at the top, if I went into all of the issues based on ignorance or just simply wanting to avoid the topics, this video could be at least an hour long. Let's call this part 1. If you're as tired as I am of having to deal with the bloated cult-like religion of politics, want to call out wrongs done by any politician of any party, then it's way past time for us to stand up and call it out. Because here's the thing, if we don't, and soon, you might not have the right to do so. So, am I going to be put in a cage, or were these just things that needed to be said? Let me know what you think in the comments, where I do read most and reply to some. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Rumble and hit that thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to share, comment, and give it a thumbs up there as well. Those are the best ways to help these videos reach more people, and it's the best way to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube might actually let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video if they haven't censored it or taken it down yet. Like us on Facebook, check out more of our work at MRCTV.org, and if you want to support our content and the conservative movement, head on over to MRC.org/donate to help us out, since we're a nonprofit and couldn't do what we do without all of you. For MRC TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.